Welcome to section 7. Now this is the last section in this particular module, the module 6, week 6 of our project management professional training program. And so far we've been talking about project schedule management. We've looked at all the critical processes that are involved in this particular knowledge area, and we've come to the last process, which is the control schedule. Now in this section we'll delve into the control schedule process. It is a project management process that monitors project progress, manages schedule changes, and addresses variances, delays, and potential issues to ensure project success. Okay, so what this means is that the whole project management process hinges on this control schedule, because here you're going to be able to monitor how the project is progressing. All right, what changes do you have within the schedule? Are there variances between the real or the actual and the ideal? All right, are there any are there any delays, any potential issues, all right, that needs to be addressed? And at the end of the day, trying as much as possible to resolve all those things and successfully execute and deliver a project. So by the end of this section, you should be able to understand the importance of control schedule, identify the inputs, tools and techniques, and output of the control schedule process, and also you learn about the different methods for controlling schedule. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump in. Alright, so what is the purpose of the control schedule? Control schedule helps us in identifying and addressing variances, delays, and potential issues related to the project schedule. Alright, so this is something you want to have right at your fingertips as a project manager. Okay, because whether you know it or not, there will definitely be variances, like I mentioned before, between the ideal and the actual. All right, so you want to be able to identify and address those variances in real time, okay, and also to avoid delays, all right, and any potential issues that will arise from your project schedule. Okay, so this is something that's going to actually help you prevent scope creep, all right, when you're executing your project. So it's something that needs to be looked into and taken very seriously as project managers. So let's look at the inputs of the control schedule process. The first is the project schedule. The project schedule is an input here. This is the current project schedule that is used as a reference for monitoring and controlling the schedule performance. So of course you already have the project schedule, all right? So to be able to control the schedule, you're going to need that as an input. Work performance data. This data provides information on the actual progress of work activities and helps assess the schedule performance. Okay? And also the project calendars. Calendars that specify working days, shifts, and resource availability are important for schedule control. So these are the inputs that you need while working on the control schedule process. Right, so let's look at the tools and the techniques for this process. First, we have performance reviews. Regular performance reviews are conducted to compare planned versus actual progress. This helps identify schedule variances. Okay, so you have to regularly compare the planned versus the actual progress. All right, so when you identify variances, then you can be able to address them in real time. So we have the project management software, alright, which includes software tools for tracking and analyzing the schedule, including critical path analysis. Alright, we're going to be looking at some project management software later in the course. Okay, resource optimization techniques: adjusting resources such as reallocating or leveling to address schedule issues and optimize resource allocation. And then you have what if scenario analysis, exploring different scenarios to understand the potential impacts on the project schedule. Okay, so these are the tools and techniques that are required for the control schedule process. Alright, what are the outputs from this process? First, you have your work performance information. This information includes data on schedule performance, progress, and any variances or issues. So of course you're going to have that information being churned out from time to time. Schedule forecasts: based on the analysis of performance data, forecasts are updated to predict project completion dates and assess potential delays. Then you also have change requests, because like you know, as the project progresses, there will definitely be a necessity for making changes. Alright, so if the schedule issues are identified, change requests may be initiated to modify the project schedule. And you also have project management plan updates. The project management plan may be updated to reflect changes in the schedule or resource allocation. So these are the outputs from the control schedule process. Now let's look at the key takeaways, okay, from this process. What are the key takeaways from the control schedule process? The control schedule is a fundamental project management process aimed at managing and monitoring the project schedule throughout its execution. It involves tracking the project activities, comparing actual performance against the planned schedule, and taking corrective actions to address deviations or delays. By analyzing variances, assessing their impact on the project's critical path, and making necessary adjustments, project managers ensure that the project stays on track and it's completed within the predefined time constraints. Now this is very important. This process plays a pivotal role in delivering projects successfully by maintaining schedule adherence and avoiding potential disruption. So if you take this control schedule process very seriously, you find out that you're going to have a smooth project execution, because this process actually does a whole lot of things. You know, managing and monitoring your project schedule throughout its execution. It helps you in tracking your project activities. It helps you in comparing, you know, the planned versus the ideal. All right, the planned and the actual, and then also identify any of those variances there. Helps you to take corrective actions in real time and address any delays. You know, helps you to assess any issues, you know, along the critical part of your project. You know, a whole lot of things. All right, so when you carry out this process effectively, you find out that you'll be able to avoid any potential disruptions in your project. Okay, so hope you got that. That brings us to the end of this section and the end of the module itself. All right, so hope you've learned a lot, you've gotten value. So right about now, you're going to head over to the quiz section and, you know, test yourself on how much you've learned from this particular module. And I'll see you in the quiz session. Okay, cheers.